unless they savor it with their mind like it is chocolate melting on their tongue, unless they connect their fears and beliefs to the piece like a spider's web. You see, I long to write the perfect sentences. I desire to make a masterpiece made of letters, punctuation marks, my worst nightmares, and my wildest dreams. I would write my hands raw if I dared use pen and paper. It is very difficult to write when your mind moves immensely faster than your hands dare try. At least not in a way to which the form could ever be legible. Not to mention how many trees would owe their passing to me. The satisfaction, fueling a smile on her face when a piece is finished just right. Updated, when a piece is updated perfectly. If you know anything about a poet, the word conclusion isn't in their vocabulary.
All right.
The way the stanzas roll off your tongue, demanding to be heard by ears other than your own. Gradually you learn to write out of happiness rather than anger and of sadness. Branching out is how you see it, like that of the arms of trees stretching out to the sun, just like the transfer of pen and paper to Google Docs. You learn how to grow and adopt new techniques, although you doubt you'll ever try writing in iambic pentameter, because who has enough time for that? Sometimes you find yourself in a drought of connections. Your fingertips itch at the thought to write, but the letters that find themselves wanting to be written feel all too familiar. Oh right, I said something to that effect in that other poem. Speaking of, I must confess I did have to search the difference between affect and effect. Affect is basically what happens before the big change to effect, and effect is the result, just in case you were wondering. So here's to Emily Dickinson, who feared to venture out of her home. To Shakespeare, who created words, wrote an iambic pentameter, and did it all without spell check. To Langston Hughes, a social activist who wrote novels, poetry, and plays. I soak up your words and marvel at your ideas. I can never measure myself to those who are being read in classes today, but someday I hope somehow to weasel my way into the lives of those that appreciate art. Not that I'll ever be Edgar Allan Poe, Emily Dickinson, Shakespeare, or Langston Hughes, but someday I'll be something that you read. I know the possibilities are slim to none, and anybody can pay their way into publishing, but it is few who are actually remembered.